Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the world's biggest stars and some of my favourite people. And there was a band back in the 90s who were huge. The girls just loved O-Town, and the big star was Jacob Underwood. How are you?
I am doing great, man. How you doing?
Hey, listen, I'm delicious, but I'm not as good as you. You join us today live from America. What it must be to be you and your penis must be incredible. The girls just thought you were amazing, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I got to admit, though, back then, the majority of the girls that came to the show were all about, 11 to 14. So it's much better now than it ever was. Now they're about 24-ish,
Oh, my.
Nice good age.
Can you give me an insight into how it feels to A, be attractive, and B, be popular? Because these are two emotions I've never felt.
I don't know how to respond to that, man.
But the thing is, when I think about your life, it's sort of the antithesis of mine. You've had adulation, you've had success, and here you are coming back at 34 with a new career and a new single. You're living the dream, really, aren't you?
Right now, I feel like we are, man. Not many people get second chances. That's for sure. We feel blessed about it.
So for those who don't remember or want filling in, this all started with MTV and Making of the Band, which was such a huge series. I remember it growing up, and it was of its time. Whether it would work again today, I'm not quite sure, because X Factor and shows like that have sort of ruined that type of program, haven't they, really?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have the whole audition process, but they've elongated that instead of making it more about the band reuniting, where you really start falling in love with the different characters. A different kind of format, but it definitely set the tone for all that kind of stuff coming up.
How was it at the time? I mean, you really were the innovators of that format and sort of the reality group. It was one of the first to do it. Was it fun? Was it exciting? Was it terrifying?
It was all the above and kind of a cluster, just screwed up in most senses, because they had no format. They didn't know what they were doing, and then it became a pissing match between ABC and MTV and Disney and Lou and Clive and everybody taking stake in it. We were just kind of stuck in the middle, like, we just want to make songs. Like, that's it. We want to make music and tour. And the fighting actually kind of took precedence over our work at the time, just trying to decide what was more important, the show or the album, and what we should focus our time. And we were just kind of pulled in all directions. So it was a whirlwind.
And again, you put 5 guys in a room together and asked them to be a team. There's going to be trouble. Were you all good mates, or did you quickly fall out?
By the time we went our own separate ways, it was time to do so. Like, we were feeling all the fighting going around, and amongst us, we started feeling the pressure and arguing amongst each other, which we ended on great terms, and we've been friends since, but we felt that pressure. We just feel that it was out of our control. Now it's much better, because we're all adults. We look at it like, let's go out and party for a weekend, because we've all got things going on during the week, Dan with his family and kids. So going out on tour now is a break from, our normal life, and then we come back every 2 weeks and we get back into it, so we get to enjoy a little bit of the best of both worlds.
We've got a band over here called Take That, who were sensational in the 90s, huge band. They split up, and then they came back about 10 years later, and they said the second time around they got it, and they saw it as a business. They saw the blessing that it was to be back, and it was therefore much more fun and a much better experience. Is that what you're hoping for this time? Is that hopefully you'll get it?
It already has been, hands down. In the meantime, Dan got a degree in graphic design. I got a degree in business, and so he's been taking over that part of our business. He's designed the album cover, the website, all the art we put out. I've been managing the band from day one, and still do. And we do look at it more like a business, but it's a business we could share, and I think it's the best business in the world, man. Music is the most fun. Is
it still as thrilling as it was then to hear the roar of the crowd?
Definitely more now. When you build something from the ground up, when we got in it before we auditioned, we made the band, and of course we worked while we were in it, but we didn't build these songs. We didn't pick our songs. Now, by designing everything and having our fingerprint on absolutely everything, and you hear like a melody in your head while you're driving in your car, you go home, write it down, you go on stage, and they're singing it back to you. So it's just a lot more fulfilling this time.
And are there fans that, let's say, are a little too enthusiastic, that verge on being scary? I imagine that when you're in a boy band, your appeal can sort of go from people who just want to see you on stage to those who will sort of follow you back to your hotel room and try and break in if they can.
Yeah, definitely. There's some girls that come up with those crazy eyes that are like handing you their number, and they're ID and their phone, and they just like, keep this, put your number in, tell me where you're going, and you're kind of like, I can see it in your eyes, I have to back away right now, okay? But most of them are really just fun, like, they're reliving it with us.
Right.
They can't believe that they're seeing friends they had when they were 13 years old, and now they're doing it 10, 11 years later, like reenacting pictures we took with them back then. It's funny. They did a lot of growing up. We don't look so different, but just a few wrinkles here and there.
And again, without being crude, I rarely get any sex without a financial transaction. How do you choose when you've got the option of 400 ladies in one night? Who gets the guy?
Well, I don't know. I kind of prefer, like, I like all women. They're all beautiful, and in all languages, man. The accents just kill me.
Right.
But I do prefer. I'm a little guy. I'm only like 160 pounds. I do like a little petite kind of frame, and I do love brunette. I'm a sucker for a good blonde. I mean, I'm kind of easy now that I'm starting to talk out loud. I don't think I'm that hard.
So basically, if you're little and you've got an accent, you're in. You're going to be in the bedroom by at least midnight.
Yeah, plenty of time to go out still and have some more fun.
Extraordinary. And is there a pack mentality amongst the boys? Are there rules about who gets who and who gets first dibs, or is it first come, first serve?
Well, it's funny. Our band, we do, like, part of our strength is that we are so different. We didn't grow up together. We don't dress the same. We don't watch the same stuff. Like, if there was a girl that likes one of us, chances are she would hate the other one. So we don't really ever find the girl that's like, or, that would be split between us or we would want. It's obvious if she's a girl that would like Trevor or a girl that would like me. We don't really, cross lines too often.
Wow, what a life. I mean, this is extraordinary, Jacob. If you could just see my face now, you would understand the pain I'm going through.
Well, you should come out on the road, man.
I could really be a cross between a groupie and a roadie and just have sex with myself. But, mind you, nothing new there.
You have the best life ever.
I guess. I've been listening to your new single, and it's very listenable. It's on SoundCloud. Just put in Chasing After You. It sort of harks back to a better time of pop music that you were doing some 10 years ago, but it's also got a modern feel as well, isn't it? You don't want to alienate the people who love you for why they love you.
Yeah, Skydive, that's kind of why we put out that song first. It wasn't too far off what our old stuff was, but it still had a current vibe. I got to play guitar and piano on it, and my buddy produced a track here in San Diego. But then since then, we kept writing for this album, developing a new sound, and the next single is going to be a song called Chasing After You, which is definitely different than a song we've ever done. It's as far away from our last singles as you can get. So I'm excited to hear what they think about where we're going with this.
Right, and what's the big plan? I mean, have you got a hope in mind of where you'd like to be in a year or 18 months, or are you taking every day as it comes?
Well, I mean, a year from now, I'd like to be writing for our fourth record. We do take it as it comes because we never expected any kind of fanfare coming back. We just wanted to make music and see what we could do if we took it, the brand for ourselves, what we could build out of it. We do hope that there's enough success we can keep this going. Absolutely, man. I love touring over there.
It's very interesting when I listened again to All or Nothing just a few minutes ago on YouTube, which has had over 5 million views, extraordinary amount for this record, which is so lovely and of its time, but fundamentally a great love song, isn't it? Are you proud of that record, or does it haunt you in a way? Because it's by far your most popular, probably because it's one of the best. Are you happy with that?
We are very proud of it, man. We are proud, thankful, humbled. Clive found that song. He knew right away it was a hit, which that's what he's great at doing. We were just lucky enough that he thought we'd sound great on it. And it was our biggest number one. I mean, Liquid Dreams was the first, but it was just another pop song, where this one has been, it kind of lived with people. Even 11 years later, I still have people come up and say, that was my song at my wedding, or that was my graduation song. And it definitely had a life without us, even.
I imagine it must be wonderful knowing that you're going to leave a legacy of memories with your audience. I mean, as you say, that particularly is like one of those songs, a bit like Boyz II Men had one, didn't they? That people take with them through their entire lives. It must be a great thrill to create something like that.
It was, man. Like I said, humbled to be a part of it. The people this many years later come up and go, I love that song. Like, what you hope for as an artist is just to put out music that sustains long enough where it makes these kind of memories and it lives with people. And you just keep making songs. because you love it. But every once in a while, you get one that stands out. I think we're just blessed to be the band that got to sing that song.
Yeah, you sort of had the best time in the record industry. I look at it now, and everybody in music I speak to is struggling. There isn't the support that there was in your day. As you come back some 10 years later trying to do it all again, it's hugely changed, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. My friend at RCA said that we were the very last video that they ever spent over $1 million on.
Wow.
Now, videos are about a $50,000 budget for even the biggest artists. It was fun to live that out. It was fun to see the change in the business and how it went from the big machine, which it still thrives with the bigger artists, into more of a do-it-yourself way where artists can get out there and do it more indie like we are. You find a backer, you find some producers that can make the tracks that you want to hear. You work as a team together and you build something from scratch. We couldn't have done it, I don't think, without going to school either. But now that we're doing it, we are such a lean operation that we can do this and not have to be at the biggest level ever. Of course, everybody would want to get there, but we would rather just be able to do this for the rest of our life.
When you're number one and everything is about you, is there any way you can't become an arsehole when everyone around you is giving you everything you want, putting on limousines, giving you private jets, offering the food you want, free access everywhere? It must be hard to keep your feet on the ground.
I think it's got to be hard. And I think that when you're a kid, it's very easy to become pretentious about it. You feel like you deserve it all and you're entitled to it. But I also think that no matter how nice of a guy you are at the top, people are going to say you're an asshole because you get pulled on so consistently.
Right.
It's always going to be that moment where you're like, look, I just need to send this text to my mom real quick, or look, I have to make this phone call. And you've always got to be, somewhat of a jerk, I'd have to say, to somebody who doesn't understand what it's like to be that busy.
I mean, when I look at someone like Justin Bieber, who probably was as big as you were back in the day, they've turned on him. There's no question the PR has gone against him recently. Is there any way back? How do you fight back when you're raised so high and then kicked to the point you're so low? How do you come back from that?
Yeah. Well, their marketing team is doing a good job of having them do a lot of good press, non-profit kind of stuff. I mean, that works to a point, but you got to stop throwing eggs at your neighbor's house.
Right.
You gotta
go to bed by 10.
Stop driving under the influence at 140 down the road and think you're above the law. Like, that's really what's caused all this. And if he stopped doing that, I think it'll all go away because people want to like him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? I guess when you're in that bubble of success, you feel the world owes you a living and that you're sort of bigger than everything. And that's the phase of his career that he's in. He was untouchable for a while.
Right. And Michael Jackson's and the artists in the world that have reached this clout where they are untouchable have seen later in their career that they very much are. You just hope they realize that before it's too late.
Yeah. Do you feel lucky that you've sort of made it through to 34 without too many huge crises? Because as you say, so many child stars, and you were bigger than big back in the day, fall at the first hurdle. You've made it through and seemingly survived pretty well and balanced. That's lucky, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very lucky. I've definitely gone through my bit of challenges, but I have a really good family, good support system around me. And I got to go through a lot of struggles off camera, which is nice, but it really comes down to your support system. If you don't have a good family and backbone of people who know you for you and not for what you've become, it's very important.
I've really loved talking to you today. Thank you for your time, Jacob, and we wish you all the best with this brand new single that's out now. You can find it on SoundCloud. Just put in Chasing After You.
Yeah, it's out. It came out last Sunday. You can get it on iTunes. I know in the UK and in Germany you can buy physical copies. In the States, you can buy it on iTunes. And the new single, Chasing After You, will be coming out soon. If
you go to SoundCloud, put in O-Town and Chasing After You, you can hear their brand new single for free. Chasing After You is the new song. 29th of September, it will be released, and you can find out more by pre-ordering on amazon.co.uk. Our friend on the phone is Jacob Underwood. He's from O-Town. Google them, find them, and good luck with your reinvention. Come to the UK and we'll talk again. How about that?
Absolutely, man. I appreciate your time.
Really appreciate it. Good to talk to you, Jacob. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.